Hi everybody and welcome back to Special Pause for People. My name is Erica and I am here definitely with my service dog Sander. As always, I was asked a really good question last week and I thought that I would make a little video of it. Before we get started though, I just want to put out a trigger warning. I am going to be talking about my own personal experiences with bipolar 1, my medications that I take, a little bit about like it was for me in high school, things like that. So I just want you guys to all be prepared that there might be some things that aren't like fun, I guess, to talk about. But like I said, these are my own experiences. Also, if you, a friend, a loved one, anybody has questions about bipolar, you need some answers, here is a hotline number that you can call, and it will also be in the description box below, and some information on bipolar 1 and psychiatric service dogs. If you do have questions, I suggest you call that hotline number now and not wait until the end of the video or later, because you might forget what you wanted to ask about. So that's just a recommendation. So the question that I was asked was, do I feel that it would have been beneficial for me to have Sander while I was in high school? And that's a definite yes, but there's more to it than just Sander, and I will explain. So for bipolar 1, for me, I take some medications. I take lithium, which is for my brain, Wellbutrin, which is for my mood and depression, and Seroquel, which is also for my mood, but it is for having insomnia, which many people with bipolar suffer, especially during our manic states. We have a hard time shutting off our mind. So I take those medications and I take them like I should. And I obviously, because I take medication, I go to the doctor. And I use my doctor to the best of my ability. I talk to her. I just don't sit there and let her tell me what I need to do. I talk to her. I tell her what's going on. I tell her what I've been thinking about. Because the only way that she can help me is if I tell her what is going on. So I use my doctor to my best of my ability, and I take my medications like I'm supposed to. Because I do these two particular things, I have an opportunity to be able to have Sander, who is my psychiatric service dog. If I don't do these things, that opportunity will be taken away. Now, I was diagnosed with bipolar 1 15 years ago. And I have been on medication the whole time, and I've been going to a doctor the whole time. Now, I have not had a psychiatric service dog the whole time. So, I was on medication and going to the doctor prior to having Sander, and then Sander came into my life about 6 years ago. So, if I were to be in high school right now, I would be taking my medicine, I'd be going to the doctor, and I would have Sander with me. So most definitely, high school would have been a completely different experience for me. I can share a little bit of my own experiences with high school and having bipolar 1. Like I said, there might be some triggers for you guys, so just please be aware of that. So when I graduated high school, it was 1991, so it was quite a long time ago, and bipolar wasn't even a thing then. They had the name manic depressive for it, and also it wasn't, I don't think it was very wide known at that point. Maybe it wasn't, and I just didn't know about it, but I don't remember ever really hearing about it ever. When adolescence comes around for people with bipolar, we usually have a major shift in the way we are feeling. Some go a manic state, some don't. I did not go a manic state. I went into a very depressed spot. I was extremely very depressed, very sad. And I felt like I had no one in the world that I could talk to. So I was in this very sad and lonely spot. I did not share it with my family. I didn't let them in on anything. I let them think whatever they wanted to think, but I did not let them in on this growing sadness that I had. Unfortunately, I was one of those kids that was teased and picked on and made fun of pretty bad. So I had all of this depression that was coming out because I had bipolar 1, and I had all of that happening. And then I had these people torturing me on top of that, which just amplified everything for me. And there were days where, honestly, I just wanted to crawl in a hole and never come out. I did experience manic episodes in there, but they were few and far between. It was mostly this depression that I had. And I truly believe that the reason why my depression lasted and lasted and lasted, it feels like it lasted for years, was because I was being made fun of. Because it truly just amplified everything. I thought I was just this awful person. And where I grew up, my family, there was no talk about ever quitting school. I knew that that was just not in the cards. It was not going to be tolerated. So I went to school like I should, and I just dealt with it. Now, my home life was completely different. Nobody knew what was going on in school with me. I didn't share it. I didn't tell anybody. I kept it to myself. I was humiliated, embarrassed, and ashamed of myself. And I did not show that at home. So, like I said, this lasted a very long time. It lasted until I was a senior. And then everything changed. When I was a senior, I met someone that was very kind to me, very nice to me. He worked at my job, my after-school job. He went to a completely different school, and he was very nice to me. So I went from this really sad, lonely, extremely lonely place where I was pretty much disgusted with myself the whole time, to a place where somebody was being nice to me and treating me like I should have been treated all along. It was good. I was in an okay spot. But, of course, this didn't work out. Teenagers. And when this was taken away from me, it was like the floodgates had opened for my mania. I look at it now, and it just seems like it was 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, and I was like night and day. It was just like, it was night and day. I went in such a manic state, and it lasted for a long time. I started to do the classic signs of having bipolar. Now, I started drinking when I was in high school, my senior year, and I know that teenagers drink, and you shouldn't, you really, really shouldn't, but I did. And I don't ever remember not getting drunk. I always took it to that level. So I was well on my way of becoming an alcoholic, which really does go hand in hand with bipolar. We self-medicate ourselves, and that's one of the ways we do it. And obviously, I was doing something, because I don't ever recall not getting drunk any time that I drank. I had flyby thoughts, lots of them. And I usually had the flyby thoughts when I was trying to fix something that I had done wrong, some kind of damage that I had done wrong. That's when I had the flyby thoughts. And then I had the obsessive thinking, where I was just about this one particular thing, and it would just not get out of my head. And it wasn't like I got up in the morning and I thought about it, and then I went to school, and of course I was in school, so maybe I thought about other things. That's not how it worked for me. This was all the time. Constant. I could only think about this one particular thing. And this happened a lot. So I had that. The insomnia, there were some nights that I only slept for an hour. I would stay in my room, but no, and back then, we didn't have or know what we know today. And like all of that is spot on with bipolar 1. And then I had this one other thing. And I'm not proud of this at all, and I'm very extremely embarrassed and ashamed of this. And it is hard to talk about, because I look back and I'm like, oh, what were you thinking? I slept around a lot. I did. And it seemed like anybody that walked in front of me, and I was, I know that sounds extreme, but I didn't need to know anybody's last name. I didn't care. And that is one thing that I wish to God that I could take back, is that. Because my family knew what I was doing by that time. And my friends knew. And it was, my conscience was taking a nap, or it was on vacation, because I just did not care anymore about what anybody thought. And it was an extremely rough time for anybody that knew me or that cared about me. It was an extremely rough time for all of those people, including myself, because nobody could stop me. I snuck out of the house all the time. Nobody could stop me. And if I would have had my medicine, my doctor, if I would have had Sander, none of that crap would have happened. None of it would have happened. I might have had mania to a certain level, but my medicine controls a great deal of that. And then talking with my doctor would have helped. And then obviously Sander would have been a huge help for me while I was in school. So yeah, most definitely Sander would have been such an asset to me while I was in school. I hope I was able to answer that question correctly and you guys understood where I was coming from. I did want to share a little bit about how it was for me in high school, because it is, you know, a part of, it is a part of who I am. Like I said, I'm not proud of my past, not in the least. And you know, I truly can remember things that happened so clearly, so damn clearly, like it happened yesterday. And it does affect me. To this day, I can get very upset and feel very sad because of the things that I've done. But it's not who I am today. I think that I'm a pretty good person. I try to help the service dog community, you know, with my leashes and things like that. So, yeah, I choose to live my life as happy as I can be, in a positive way. I do try to stay away from as much negativity as I possibly can. And sometimes that's easier said than done. I do know that. But you guys are all worth feeling happy. Don't ever let anybody put you in a place where they take that happiness away, that joy away from you, because you're just going to sit there and it's not worth it. We are all unique and we do things differently, but we all deserve to be happy. And your past is your past. What you can do in the future is just don't repeat your past. Take care, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, I made this. I made this for somebody that she was actually my 10th person that was a subscriber for this channel. So it's been a while. She's been following me, and she's also on my Instagrams, and her favorite color is green. So I made a collar for her, and I am going to start making these and selling them for Colorado Quartz for Paws. I just want to practice just a little bit more to make sure that I do it correctly. I worry. I actually did forget to put a D-ring on this for her, but she says that she's not going to use it as a collar that she hooks the leash up or puts the tag on. So it worked out anyways, but I would have had to take it apart if it didn't. She did not buy this. This is just because she's so nice, and she did send Sandra Christmas gifts. For Christmas, she sent Sandra a box of stuff. She did send stuff for me too, but Sandra got the majority of it. I thought that was very, very nice of her. So, yeah, I should be doing a video on this pretty soon. So, take care.